All things, all people, all life, all love, I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All health, all compassion, all peace, all joy, I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, all that is bountiful, I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All things, all people, all life, all love, I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, all that is bountiful, I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all.
Friends, and good morning to you. My name is Eddie Cash Dudley, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees here at the Center for Spiritual Living, West Hawaii. In the spirit of aloha, I welcome you to our Sunday celebration, and may today be the day that you are one with it all. I love that song. As we open our service, we acknowledge that in West Hawaii, we honor the rich and ancient heritage of Kanaka Maoli, the native people of Hawaii. We honor all communities, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. At CSL West Hawaii, we discover the truth of who we are through our center's vision of contributing to an emerging world by supporting humanity's awareness to its spiritual connection. We support this vision through our mission, which is to be a joyfully accepting, serving, and compassionate ohana focused on holistic and mindful community growth through spiritual principles and practices. The spiritual truth is that we all belong to each other, and this calls for us to be inclusive, to celebrate and embrace our unique identities, ability, status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. I invite you now to set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together. As our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, taught, in principle, the great religions of the world do not differ as much as they appear to. That is why we take time each week to recognize and honor a variety of religions as sacred paths to God. I now invite Tina to lead us in our Lighting the Flames of Faith. Tina.
We perform this ceremony each Sunday to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. And fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all spiritual thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for the native traditions, including, of course, the Hawaiian culture, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality, and the spirit in all of creation. We light a candle for Confucianism, honoring the path of deliberate tradition. We light a candle for Shintoism, honoring the path of optimism and the inherent goodness of humanity. We light a candle for Akan, honoring the path of the divine ancestors and nature. We light a candle for signs of mind, honoring the path of adherence to a universal spiritual law and transformation through the commitment of our spiritual practices. We light all these candles for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We also light these candles as healing candles. So you may, if you choose, put silently to the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. We invite you to hold sacred any and all faiths in all their multiplicities by knowing love as the highest power that guides them all. Namaste, and so it is.
Thank you, Tina, for leading us in the lighting the flames of faith. We realize that today's trends offer up many options of spiritual soul food, and we are grateful that you drop in to visit with us today. We welcome you, and if you are with us for the first time, please consider joining in at the end of the service for the after chat, a time to connect and explore today's message a little further. And we'd love it if you would put your email address in the chat so that we can better welcome you, along with any other comments that you would like to share as our service unfolds. So now let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. We invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment, and find that sacred place within where spirit is all there is. Our centering time today will be led by Tina Stewart, but first we begin with an affirmative prayer. Please join with me in consciousness, knowing that there is only one life, one mind, one all-creative force, and infinite intelligence, known as God, Spirit, Love, Keakua, the divine. This one mind is the originating cause of all life seen and unseen, known and unknown. It is the substance from which I am, the energy that moves me, sustains me, and nurtures me into greater expansion of expression, so that it may know through experience the fullness of itself. I speak my word for the part of me in the universe known as the multiple expressions within humanity. As I contemplate my place within this universe, I remember that God is ultimately energy and motion. I fully embrace that the cosmic spiritual principles which govern the unseen infinite intelligence are operating in my life now, as they are through all circumstance. And therefore, I confidently affirm that I am never alone and can trust that I am always guided to perfect self-expression. As I know this life is a glorious blessing of oneness and wholeness, no matter what is happening, I am imbued with strong belief, and the portals to my passion are flung open. Life itself is ever passionate about its creation, and I trust, therefore, that all creation is infused with this same passion. Passion reveals possibility to me, and I allow the one source to guide the direction of this passion. With deep appreciation for the allness of God as the one life, inspired by love and the love of its being that continues to reveal this truth, I release anything obstructing me from cultivating the loving acceptance for the presence of Keakua as me here and now. And so it is. Tina?
So I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with the centering today, but I think I would like us to just gather our energies together. And I would like you to think of 5 affirmations that you are going to be working on this week. And we'll start with affirmation 1, where you can say it to yourself, and then putting that energy and that God consciousness into that statement, bless it and send it on its way so that it is out in the presence, out in the universe, and already working for you. So let's start with affirmation number 1. I take this affirmation, I bless it, and I release it, and send it on its way. Affirmation number 2. I take this affirmation, I bless it and release it, and send it on its way. Affirmation number 3. I take this affirmation, I bless it and release it, and send it on its way. Affirmation number 4. I take this affirmation, I bless it and release it, and send it on its way. And finally, affirmation number 5. I take this affirmation, I bless it, release it, and send it on its way. And so it is.
That was really wonderful, Tina, causing us to acknowledge who we are with the all that is all. And now, wrapping up our August theme of igniting my purpose through passion. My purpose through passion. I am delighted to introduce today's speaker, Dr. Mary Jo Honiotes, with her talk. Oops, I said doctor, and that may be right, but she's supposed to be called Reverend Mary Jo Honiotes, with her talk entitled Passion Reveals, We Allow. Reverend Mary Jo.
Thank you. I'm standing. Some energy and standing that I like. So I would love to be a doctor someday, but I am Reverend. And I'm honored to be with you all today. I want to say thank you so much to Reverend Dr. Nadine for this invitation. I have been just so served already by your consciousness, your connection, the beginning of this talk already in this service. So thank you so much. And I'm going to go ahead. I do kind of have you on gallery, but let me just see. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that's good. I think you just see me, right? Okay. So passion reveals itself as we allow. I want to say that I had given Dr. Nadine my talk title and description, and then a couple of weeks later, I got this like meta awareness. Now, I've been a practicing metaphysician for 40 years, but this was like kind of like feeling and knowing this beyond what I have felt and known before about oneness and wholeness, the principle of oneness and the principle of wholeness. And it was the meta awareness was it's so present and so activated right now. And so I thought I would talk about all three because they are related. And you've been hearing about passion all month, so you may hear some similar things. The essence of passion for me as a principle and as we practice it is that it really does live in the present moment. Ernest Holmes talks about passion in the Concordance about 3 times. And I feel as though he talks about passion when he talks about embodiment. And he talks about embodiment a lot. Webster's defines embodiment as an expression of or a tangible form of an idea, quality, or feeling. And so Ernest Holmes, as he talks about embodiment, he's talking about walking the talk. He's talking about us having a experience in our mind and our heart and our body of congruency around living a principle. And I feel like that's where passion lives. Lots of studies of passion early on in my studies. Matter of fact, a teacher back in 1986 said that excitement in the physical body is the physical translation of what we are here to do. So excitement in our body is the physical translation of what we are here to do. And the qualifier there is as long as we don't hurt ourselves or others. So there's an integrity piece there. But this was my first kind of, I would say, relationship and awakening to what passion is. Passion is pure on, in a spiritual sense, passion is pure on communion with spirit. Passion is the moments when we know it's not just me right now, right here, right now. Something is talking through me, something is creating through me, something is praying through me. And we discover our passion as we live and as we open ourselves to being a student of spiritual principle. And sometimes passion, actually, Ernest Holmes talks about passion. Matter of fact, one of his quotes in the book talks about crimes of passion. And so I think about that, and I think about just the energy that's actually not focused, or can be based in, malintent. And that's kind of the way he talked about passion. But I'd like for us to think about it as embodiment. Passion is an energized state. It's an unbridled joy. It's awe. One of my teachers, Dr. Roger Teal, mentioned that awe means amazement with everything. I know you all have been in that state. Stand before the beautiful ocean, stand before the community of your people, stand and be in the place where you know is electrified by spirit, amazement with everything. Passion is connection. Passion is that spark that we come from, that the universe sparks us into being. And for some of those of you that are death doulas, it's the spark that carries on. It's the spark that carries on. Ernest Holmes says, the infinite knowingness becomes our wisdom only to such the degree that we embody its intelligence. We have to be continuing students of these principles. We have to continue and give ourselves the time and the space to revisit. Am I having moments of passion in my life? Am I having moments where I feel like there's that spirit is, again, creating, speaking, moving through me? You know, many people in life live with passion and they don't really identify spirit or God with it, but they're living the principle of following your bliss. And science is beginning to prove this. We're so blessed that science is beginning to prove this. Scientists tell us that having purpose, participating in things that bring us joy, loving and being loved, offering our gifts and our talents, increase our well-being, increase our health. And so, how do we allow passion to reveal itself? For today, I want to talk about the practice of oneness and wholeness, and my own assertion that we clear our field. We clear our inner field so that passion can reveal itself in the present. It's like passion is pure God, which I'm trying to remember her name. She lived on Maui, and she would call, of course, the ocean liquid God. And I'm sure that you might do that as well. So let's think about clearing our field and making passion welcome. Oneness and wholeness. We could study it for a lifetime. I sure am still studying it. But we only have a few minutes today together. So I just want to talk a little bit about each of them and then give us some tips on how to be mindful and remain in our awareness of this. So you all know what oneness is. You've invoked it before I started talking. And today, this was when I found religious science, this was it. This was one of the things that was it. And it was that there is a power and a presence within us ready to express itself through us and as us. It's ready to receive our intention, our affirmations. I love the affirmations that I just created. Thank you, Tina. This power and presence is within us. And we live in this creative consciousness that reflects back to us what we put in it, period. We're one with that. We can decide, I don't really want to, and I'm not really speaking to anybody here. I'm speaking to some people that we might often meet that say, no, I don't want to, I don't really want to engage in that. Well, guess what? It's happening. Whether we engage in it or not, it's happening. There's this story about a town that was a very welcoming town. And there was a gatekeeper, and there was a man that came, a traveler that came to the town and said, gatekeeper, I'm just traveling and I've left the town I used to live. May I come and live in this town? And he said, well, sure, we love to have new people in this town. And so he opens the door, and the traveler says, but first, can you tell me what kind of people live in this town? And the gatekeeper says, what kind of people were in the town that you just left? And he says, well, they were like angry, and they were not friendly, and they were greedy. And the gatekeeper says to him, well, you will find the people here in this town greedy and angry and inconsiderate. So that traveler decides, I don't want to go to that town. So he leaves. And then another traveler comes to the gatekeeper and says, hi, I've been traveling. I would love to come and live in your town. The gatekeeper says, sure, we love to have new people here. And he opens the doors, and the traveler walks in and says, but wait, before I do that, can I ask you what kind of people live in this town? And the gatekeeper says, well, what kind of people were in the town that you just left? And the traveler says, oh, they were wonderful. They were helpful. They were loving. They were fun. They're very happy. And the gatekeeper says, well, you will find the people in this town to be the same way. You probably kind of knew where that was going. And I experience on a regular basis in my work, in my field, the way that we do that, the way that we preset often. And so we need to be reminded of this power and authority that we have in our word and in our beliefs. Oneness seems to be speeding up these days. The secret's out. It's everywhere. You can't hide from it. It's happening whether you're aware of it or not. Sometimes we learn about oneness by retrospect. We might look at our life and go, oh, this is what's going on in my life. So what am I holding? What am I believing that's creating that? We learn all sorts of ways. And if all of us are creating in this field of potential, we're all connected with one another. And I loved what someone said, maybe it was you, Edie. Is it Edie or Eddie? It's Eddie. Anyway, okay. About we belong to one another. I have a very dear friend who I kind of grew up in ministry with, and she now is a teacher in Hinduism. And every time the community comes together, they spend time speaking to one another and saying, we belong to each other. We belong to each other. More and more now these days, we are given an opportunity to practice that, aren't we? Wholeness. All right, here is my take on wholeness. Wholeness means many things, but for today, wholeness means that that everything that is expressing right now is supposed to be expressing. Everything is always expressing perfectly, no matter what it looks like. Isn't that a beautiful kind of foundational undergirding principle for us to practice in these days of great change? And I'm not talking about perfectionism. I'm talking about the science of consciousness that is reflecting back to us the beliefs that we have, the intentions that we give it, the active conscious practice. There's a beautiful question in the Science of Mind 1 course. And the question is, What if this was the best thing that was happening? Oh my. And this is our inner work. You know, I wouldn't necessarily go out and ask that question for people who are in the midst of real challenge. It can be kind of a detached question. This is our inner work. What if what is happening here is the best thing that could be happening? It will offer you insight. It will offer you healing. And guess what? It will fortify you when you are in the midst of supporting people. It will fortify you when you are in the midst of great change. And thinking about, doing inner work, which I have done about our precious Lahaina. I'm Hawaii, all of Hawaii has my heart. So everything is happening. Now, it doesn't mean we don't want to change. Absolutely. Change is what's up for us now too. But what happens is we release the self-critic. We release judgment when we accept. This is a radically self-acceptance practice. We accept the fact that everything is whole right as it is. And that leads us to self-acceptance, sometimes radical self-acceptance. It'll lead us to learning and radically trusting the universe. Ernest Holmes says, we walk by falling forward. Water falls by its own weight. The planets are eternally falling through space. Everything sustains itself in nature. And the only reason we are limited is that we have not allowed the divine within us to be more completely expressive. And so my invitation today is looking at that practice of oneness, the practice of wholeness in your inner work, to release, to accept the self, to accept the power that you have, so that passion has a place to play, so that passion can spring forth and allow. All of these spiritual principles are interconnected with one another. If we could imagine that we gave them a voice and form, they would just have an amazing networking circle on a regular basis of how they all support one another. So my reminders for you today are: be present. To create that space where passion can reveal itself. You know your passion. You know it. We've been dancing with it all of our lives. You know that feeling in the body. And sometimes we just, our humanness gets in the way. But be present. Clear your mind and your heart and your body. And be present. When you are breathing, if you are doing a breathing meditation and you are conscious of your breathing, then you are present. That's a good indicator. When you can consciously breathe, we always hear, oh, this happens, or you're here, or you're there. Breathe. How many of us have that training to invite people to just breathe? Take a moment right now and breathe. So when we breathe and are conscious of our breathing, we are present. Be grateful. Be grateful for that power and presence that just seeks to know its own self as you. And this is a phrase that I borrowed from Dr. Michael Beckwith. It is seeking to know itself as you. And here's something else. Did you know that there is a 1 in 400 trillion chance? That's 12 zeros. 1 in 400 trillion chance that you were born. So you are here uniquely as you, uniquely with your own passion, uniquely on your path. So be grateful for this beautiful power and presence that breathed you into form on purpose. And the last one is be quiet. Learning to listen. Learning to listen. Learning to let go. So you can continue in your quietness, invite or be invited by the presence to embody that presence. Be present, be grateful, be quiet. Practice passion, practice oneness, practice wholeness. Let's have a brief closing prayer. As we come to our natural breathing, we know that this breath is divine. And then we bring into our awareness the truth that there's one power, one presence, one love, one holy wholeness. And from that place, as we become conscious of our breath, we recognize that we are one with that. We can never be separate from this power and presence. And the power and presence is actually breathing us. It's in this awareness that we simply accept today's community conversation, today's message, wherever it finds itself within our heart and mind and body. And I am so grateful for this opportunity to be in this community here and to share what has come forth. And it's in this Thanksgiving that it's already been given. Thanksgiving means it's done. And so all we need to do is just let it be and let it go. And so it is. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Reverend Mary Jo. The one thing that I always take away from these services, especially after listening to such profound teachings, oneness, wholeness, when I walk away from service on Sunday morning, I always feel so much more connected to people, connected to the universe, connected to the energy, connected to Hawaii, connected to love and passion, caring, and it just really sets the tone for the rest of my day. And I'm hoping that those of you who have listened to Reverend Mary Jo this morning walk away with that same sense of connection. We are all one. So please join me next Sunday when we welcome Reverend Dr. Nadine Rogers speaking on the value of spiritual community. And now it's time for our conscious giving, an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. We know that we have to receive as well as give, so we invite you to let your divine inner wisdom choose the blessing of joy that calls to you, whether it's one on the screen or something from your higher self. Keep it with you all week long and remember how much you are loved. Wonderful. And now we can complete the law of circulation by giving back. I invite you to invoke the feeling of gratitude through thoughts of infinite possibility right where you are, allowing that to fill you and the space around you. Thank you for all the ways you support the center and the community, whether it be in the form of a donation, your time, or by sharing your positive light out into the world. And now let's speak our prosperity affirmation together. This gift I give is God in action. I give it in love. I give it in joy. I give it in gratitude. I give it knowing that it is given again. And so I graciously give. And so it is. And thank you for those of you who stopped by the office, my little office in Waimea, Hawaii this week and left off checks supporting our center. We really appreciate that. We offer easy ways to donate your offering. If you're in Waimea on Tuesday, stop by and drop off a check. or you can make your donation through our website. Thank you for those of you who donate through PayPal, cslwh.org, or by sending a check to the address on the slide. We gratefully receive your gifts and tithes. Your support allows us to connect with each other and to create a center where we can thrive and learn to contribute to a world that works for everyone. And last but not least, here are a variety of ways to connect and engage in community. We have our sacred prayer circle tomorrow, Monday, August 28th. All are welcome to a time of setting a new intention for their lives and being supported in activating the law of mind in action. This is a gentle, confidential space in which to gain clarity and claim your good. It runs from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. We have a new 30-day, 20 minutes per day course happening for the month of September. It is called Prosperous Me. It runs from 8:30 to 8:50 each morning, covering the metaphysical principles and practices to help expand your consciousness of acceptance and manifestation. Get your daily boost of abundance with Reverend Nadine, only $69 plus the book. We have a Sharing the Bounty Fall fundraiser. It's an online silent auction, which will be posted for bidding to begin on October 8th. If you have any item or service gift certificate, perhaps a magical time share spot, or favorite restaurant experience you would like to give others, please contact Reverend Nadine. The deadline for accepting items is September 15th. Our Sunset Ohana meetup is this afternoon from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Spencer Beach Park. Bring some poo-poos and refreshments to share, or come as you are to join in the fun sharing and spiritually open conversation. This is a great way to introduce others to CSL West Hawaii community. Links to all these events and to register can be found on our website calendar at cslwh.org, or feel free to email us at cslwh.board@gmail.com. On behalf of our entire community, thank you for being part of our spiritual family today, and we look forward to seeing you again. Please stay around for our after chat directly after our closing prayer and our peace song. And now it is my pleasure to introduce once again Reverend Mary Jo to close our service with an affirmative prayer.
Thank you. Once again, let us go to that place within, guided by our very breath. The natural lifting and releasing. That reminder that life is always moving, pulsing, waving. And we bring into our awareness that there is one God, one power, and one presence that expresses through all life. This power and presence is divine love and infinite wisdom, beauty. This power and presence is oneness and passion and wholeness. And it's the truth of the universe, unwavering, infinite, ever giving, ever loving. And by the nature of our very breath, we know that we're unified with this truth. This is the truth. And it is all of that power and presence in its glory that is breathing us, that has breathed us into form. setting that spark within us to express our passion, to expand our hearts through our practice of oneness, to expand our acceptance of self and others through the practice of wholeness, so that we might be a space for others as we belong to each other. We will be that space of unconditional love, be that space of acceptance and presence. Sometimes without uttering a word, we are a healing presence. And so I give thanks for this time together. I give thanks for this truth. I give thanks for the opportunity to be together. I give thanks for the way in which Spirit is moving through this community. I give thanks for the way that power and presence of love, unwavering, is moving through the entire Hawaiian community, especially on Maui. And then I give thanks for knowing that Spirit is present all ways, all places, all moments. And that's how we enter our days and weeks knowing this truth. And in this Thanksgiving, we have received the good. We let it be, and together we say, and so it is. I do have one more affirmation that came to me this morning. I'm just going to read it real quick, and you all can take it if you like. It is, Spirit will use everything I overcome for what I know I must become.
Thank you.
I can write it in the chat if you'd like.
Thank you. Write that in the chat. It was interesting during Tina's affirmation. Every affirmation that I thought of started with the words, I am. I am peaceful. I am at ease. Anyway. So now let's sing our peace song. And for those of you who have those wonderful voices, that's Pam for sure, Gail, Tina. We'll sing our peace song together and then hang around for the after chat. Give you an opportunity to visit with us one-on-one and feel the love that we have for each other and for you. Thank you. Thank you again for coming today. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. And stick around for our after chat with Reverend Mary Jo. Thank you.